Hey, are you a midlife woman and you are just ready to chuck in the 9 to 5, throw it all out, you're done, and you want to create a whole new chapter with more purpose, more meaning, more fun, but you actually don't know what you're going to do or how you're going to get there? If so, you're in the right place, because in today's video, I'm going to go through 3 ways that you can kind of reset your energy so that you can find a completely different chapter and even earn money doing it. Okay, if we haven't met before, hi, my name's Lindsay and I help midlife women reinvent themselves. Hopefully you've found this video, and I thank YouTube and its crazy algorithm for that. And if you're coming back, then I'm really grateful that you've come back. Thank you so much. So today I'm out of my study and I'm in my outdoors study, my favourite place to work, in my garden. Thank you for being here with me. I know you're going to enjoy this. There are some super easy methods to just come back to yourself. Because ultimately the whole thing about reinventing yourself is actually coming back to yourself. It's nothing that you need to become, it's kind of what you need to let go. Let's jump right in. Okay, number 1 is just getting out for a walk. First thing in the morning. In that time when we first wake up in the morning, if the first thing you do is check your emails, that basically means your day's been hijacked, and it's proven that it really reduces your productivity for the day. Now, I know this time of life it's not all about, go, 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 productivity, produce more. I just think that's like stress on a plate, really, isn't it? But if you can set yourself up right, then your whole nervous system actually gets the chance to be as it should, and you are in balance. Because I'll go through that with all 3 points, but basically all of it, we're just trying to get you back in balance so you can be who you are. You can be your awesome self when you're not being pulled in a gazillion different directions and you're not absolutely frazzled and burnt out. I was speaking to one of our community last night, and by the way, if you comment, I reply to every single comment, okay? We're still that size of channel that I can reply to every single comment, and if you DM me on Insta, as soon as I see the DM, and I can't say that I'll see it immediately, but when I see the DM, same thing, I will always reply to you. So please keep posting questions and stuff. I love that, and I'm very grateful for it. So I was speaking to Catherine last night, and Catherine, like many, I have to say, who I've been speaking to, is burnt out, exhausted, and said, I'm actually off work at the moment because I can't work because I'm so burnt out, and so I'm off sick, and I don't know, I'm keen, and I know I need to invent my new chapter, but I can't even think about doing it right now because I'm exhausted. I'd love to know what my options are, but right now I'm exhausted. So the first thing that we need to do before we get all excited about creating the new chapter, because that's the exciting bit, right? It's a bit like if you're decorating a room, okay, and you just want to get on there with all the pretty colours. But actually what makes a really good job is when you do the background preparation and you're cutting in and you're masking tape and all the rest of it. I don't know, does anybody else paint their house? Anyway, the fun bit comes when you get to start throwing colours on the wall, but you've got to do that preparation beforehand. And it's exactly the same when you reinvent yourself. You need to do the preparation so you can come back to the best version of you. Now, the 3 methods that I talk about are very simple, and because they're so simple, they're really easy not to do. But I'm going to give you the science behind why it's worth doing them. Even though the actual act is really small, the benefit just compounds, and you'll understand how it's so helpful, even though it seems just so simple. But the ridiculous thing, if we choose a healthy habit and a balancing habit versus one that drains us and leaves us depleted, they're both really easy choices to make. You can go one way or the other. And I'm not saying, go for the cream cake or, the apple. Whichever, you always get to choose, but there will always be consequences as well. Although this isn't anything about calories and weight loss, there is an element in number 3, which you might want to hang around for, because it's the stuff that we just completely overlook. Right, anyway, so back to point number 1, getting out for a walk first thing in the morning, because I'm always looking at my notes. Because as you do that, it will balance your nervous system. It gets you into your parasympathetic nervous system, which allows you then to go into healing. So you're not running on like completely, frazzled energy straight away. Because if every day you're starting off in frazzled energy, where the heck's your creativity coming from? You're an empty well and you've got nothing to give. So first thing we've got to do before you even, leap into the excitement of reinventing is let's get you back in alignment. Yeah. So the walking in the morning seems like the tiniest thing, and even when the weather's crappy outside, it's still like stick on a raincoat and just get out there anyway. As you go through the year, you see and you witness the different seasons, and by witnessing the different seasons, automatically that makes you more present to your own is it biorhythms? your own biochemistry, I guess, because you realise that you are part of nature, you're part of the seasons, and your behaviour in the summer is going to be different than your behaviour in the winter. But unless you're outside, it's very easy just to be in fake lighting and central heating or air conditioning, and it's a barrier between you and nature. Now, I'm a huge fan of being in nature, as you can see, and this actually happened by chance, this whole forest thing behind me, completely by chance, which is a whole story in itself. But when I moved into the house, I didn't even know this was behind me. So I was guided, right? But yeah, that's another video. Anyway, so when you get out and about, it means that you benefit from the vitamin D, you benefit from moving your body, which is going to, bring on the endorphins, bring on the serotonin. It means you get the sunlight on your face before the day gets hot, so you're not going to be doing any sun damage or anything like that. But just by moving your body, you release all of the good chemicals. And then when you release those good chemicals, of course, then you start feeling better. And when you start feeling better, you start making better decisions. And when you start making better decisions, you get better results. So see what I mean about how it compounds? And all of that from getting out and doing even 2,000 steps. You don't need to do the whole 10,000. You could do if you wanted, but you don't need to. Even 2,000 to 5,000. And it's not that difficult to do. As I say, get up half an hour earlier. But I promise you, day after day after day, it makes a massive difference. Number 2 is you've got to exercise, but in a way that suits you now. Because what you can do now is different than you were doing in your 20s, 30s and 40s. That's even if you're a fan of exercising. I don't know. But what I do now is completely different than what I used to do. I love to run. My body doesn't love running. I love to do like the really hard weights exercises and like HIIT classes. My body does not love those anymore. So I can't do the same thing. I've had to adapt. But if you can get out and do something that you enjoy, whether it's, pickleball, paddle, cycling, wild swimming, walking, Nordic pole walking, yoga, stretching, whatever you can do, if you can just get your body moving on a regular basis, but in a way that serves you, so it doesn't deplete you, it doesn't cause pain, it doesn't cause, inflammation, but moving your body, it allows you to get back into your body. And that is one of the really important things about making a decision about where you're going next. It's like plugging yourself in. You've got to plug yourself back into you. And that sounds daft, because everybody else is talking about unplugging from digital. And the thing is, you're either really plugged into one or the other. You can't actually be in the same, you can't be in both at the same time. And I'd never really thought about that until I heard one of my mentors talking about it. And I was like, actually, that makes so much sense. If you're plugged into the internet, then, and even though you're here, very grateful that you're here, by the way, if you're plugged into the internet, you are going on somebody else's agenda. And when you are off the internet and you're back in your own body, you're back in nature, it allows you to just remember you, really. And you're a pretty cool person. So that's probably who you want to remember and get to know yourself again. Because after all these years of doing everything for everybody and the stress and everything that goes on our shoulders and what we carry each day, the most peaceful place you can be is you in a good state. Now, you depleted and exhausted, that's not the best place to be, but you've kind of got to get through that door in order to find the healthy, happy you. So that's number 2. Number 3, well, it's going to be a bit longer than normal, this video. Number 3 is getting back into nature. So I've kind of said it with the walking, but there's other aspects too. It's not only that, it's the walking, it's drinking your water, it's doing some sort of meditation. Now that can be a walking meditation. I often do a walking meditation in the forest. And if you don't think that you can meditate, a walking meditation is so much better. But if you're walking and you've got your head down and you're kind of, pumping it out, start looking at the leaves on the trees and then start looking at the space between the leaves on the trees. And when you do that, literally just stop for a second, listen to what you can hear and look at the space between the trees and just notice what happens. Your shoulders will drop, your breathing will deepen, and all of a sudden you'll feel like yourself again. What a joy. And that's all before you've even made your first coffee in the morning. It's magic. I promise you, it is magic. And when you can step into that energy, you get back into the flow of what you're here to create and how you can then connect to your purpose. It becomes such an important part of your day because you start every day being who you are. You start every day being your most calm, relaxed, peaceful self. And you can, you can change gears later on and get going and get everything else you need to do done. But starting from that place, I promise you, will completely reset you and bring you back to a really good place. Now, I've got to say, let's just dive into this very quickly before I forget, otherwise I'll go off on a tangent. One of the things that I love to do is just to stand on the grass bare feet. So I'll come back from my walk, take off my shoes and socks, and then I'll just go and stand on the grass. And depending on what mood I'm in, I'll either stand on the grass and just soak up the sun, or some days I will do yoga on the grass barefoot, other days just stretching, and other days just a few laps around the garden. Pretty tiny garden, but just some laps around the garden. But it's all about the grounding. It's about getting the ions from the ground into your body. It changes your electrical charges. But it also, if you can imagine, if you do stand still, just imagine that you've got roots going down into the earth. And again, it's about getting back in balance. And when we're in nature, we get back into balance. So that's the grounding aspect of things. Lots of water, just keep drinking water. About 2 litres a day. Shove lemon or lime or orange or cucumber slices or whatever in there to help it through. Do that. Just find a way that you can drink 2 litres of water. And at the moment I'm drinking out of one of these. I feel like they're Lego cups, the ones I mean. They've just got huge handles. But if I drink 3 of those in a day, then that's pretty much 2 litres, just over, but that's okay. Getting back to natural foods, the fewer ingredients you've got on any food, the more natural it is. Lots more sleep than you probably think you need. If you can go for the 8 hours, ideal. And the other thing which people aren't talking about, which is a bit of a one for me, I do love to get on a bit of a soapbox about it, detoxing from heavy scents, perfumes, heavy creams and really hefty moisturisers. Trying to find stuff which doesn't put more stress on your system and more stress on your body, and the more toxins that you're putting on your skin and on your body, the harder it is for your body to get back to balance. And your body knows how to heal itself. When you give it the right environment, it can return to balance. And then when you return to balance, of course, that's when you return to yourself. Do you see what I mean? If you can give yourself some days without makeup or without just heavy stuff on your skin, it just gives your skin breathing time. That's the one not everybody's talking about, but I personally am a real fan of it. And I know if you're going into an office or anything like that, you feel that you need to be fully made up or whatever. But personally, I believe it makes a difference when you give your skin the time to detox as well, and just to get out there and relax. Your skin needs to relax as much as anything. So I hope this helped. This definitely feels like a stepping stone between going from the stressful 9 to 5 and then going to your new chapter. And while this isn't about career and work and, whatever the solution might be for your next chapter, it is about building it from the right foundation. And building it from the right foundation means that you need to find, you've got to come back to your core. And coming back to your core is all about allowing your body to get back into balance. So anyway, let me know if this is helpful. If you want to join this community of women who are keen to leave the 9 to 5 and want to reinvent themselves and create this new chapter, and you want to find various different ways of doing it, because there are many and more coming up, because I've been having some interesting conversations in the last few days with people who have options for midlife women to create their own businesses, and they're not to do with digital. It's so exciting, I can't wait to share. But if you're interested in joining that community and hearing about what's coming up, then just download my free guide. And first of all, you'll get ideas from that and about how people are making that work and making the transition. But then also it means that you'll then be in the community, so I can share any of the new information coming up with you. Okay. And also, of course, if you're still here with me, thank you. Like, subscribe, and comment below on what you thought of this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Okay, take it easy. Bye.